Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogia Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF. Hope everybody's doing good. I want to thank everybody and apologize again, for the other night. I had to bail on you guys, but it was inevitable. It was for a good cause. The gentleman, as a matter of fact, the gentleman I drove down there, I just got a message from his wife. He's going to have surgery to remove a tumor from his spine tomorrow. So yeah, he's being taken care of. So I am glad about that. And again, apologize, but is what it is. I have to admit, I have Sawdust Beast still. I'm listening as long as I can, man. It's a good show they got going on. So I have it on my phone, and if you're listening, stay over there and listen. You come here when you're done. I want to, I'm gonna make a little noise here. Hold on.
Yes and no.
All right. I was gonna play it at the same time, but that would just be annoying. So, guys, tonight I'm just winging it. So no guest planned. You guys know the drill. If anybody feels like coming on tonight and hanging out, let me know. I will post the banner with my email, and just hit me up, and I'll get you on. I'll send you a link, and just click on the link and follow the directions. It's real simple. So let me start saying hi to people in chat here. Sorry. And hi to everybody watching who's not in chat. Got to start at the top. Damn, man. How are you guys fucking conversing so quickly? That's right. You guys have been here a while. So anyway, Cashy, what's up? Big Rob. I saw you guys here first tonight. Paul Holland, what's going on? Stevie B. Hey. I know I just saw Mr. Lee 3PO. What's going on? Hey, Mike. Good to see you, man. Patrick Vaughn. So glad you guys are here. Mike's Adventures. What's happening? John Patterson. Oh, I'm so glad to see everybody here. Hey, D. How are you, hon? Kevin, Southeast Georgia. What's going on? Again, no plans for tonight. I'm sure people will trickle in, or they'll come in after Sawdust Beast. They got a really good show going on right now. They have Janice Carter there. They just had her on a month ago, but I guess she didn't get a chance to answer all the questions. So tonight was just a real right on. I will send you the link. I don't know who that's coming from, though. Actually, I do. Never mind. Yeah, Patrick, I'll get you on. Just give me a minute. Who else is here? Daniel Lundy, what's happening? Mike Stockton. JCL, Ohio. Dude, man, we got to talk. I want to hear your stories. The Squatching Cowboy. How's it going, Joe? So, yeah, if you didn't hear, the other day I kind of bailed on the show to help somebody. I drove him down to Phoenix to the hospital. We got there safely, and he's getting taken care of. If you didn't hear earlier, tomorrow he is having surgery to remove a tumor from his spine. So yeah, he was been in some extreme pain. So I really couldn't put that off. I couldn't let him sit there and So yeah, he's good. What else we got going on? Juanita, hola. How are you, hon? Good to see you. Hey, Sandra. Night Wolf. Hey, Night Wolf, did they ever answer your question? Poor guy was getting pissed off, man. I asked this question 5 times. Fuck you, I'm out. He didn't say it that way, but I did. Good. They got it answered. That's awesome. No, I bailed out of chat and had other stuff to do, but I was listening the whole time because the woman's got some amazing stories and a lot of knowledge in the field of Bigfoot. And they were just getting into religion and stuff, and I got distracted, but I'll go back and listen. Rooted, what's going on, man? Bama Murdoch, Mr. DeVere, good to see you. Rex, sorry. Yeah, not interested. Let me turn this off. So yeah, Patrick, let me send you that. You guys will have to bear with me, but you know how this works. Damn it. I had something in my eye all day. Can't get it out. All right. I tried to half screen this thing and it just annoys the hell out of me. I was going to half screen it so I could put YouTube up, but I'd rather, because, if you were listening, Mark was complaining about, which is true. He's not complaining, but you can only scroll so far with StreamYard. And Patrick Vaughn. All right, sir, it is on its way. And there you go. Hey, Christy, if you're out there, I didn't notice you if you're here yet. You want to jump in? Anybody wants to jump in? Maybe someone wants to talk to Mr. Vaughn. I admire his tracking abilities, so I enjoy listening to him. Feel free, let me know. And come on. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Hi, Robin. All right. I think I'm all caught up on who's in chat. Oh, shit. I got to plug in my earphones. Put my microphone. Put my microphone there. Isaac, what is up, brother? Great to see you, man. Hilton, how's it going? Typical watch. So glad everybody's here. We got 58 watching. That's awesome. Amazing. Is Sawdust Beast still on? I get a cough. Excuse me. Well, hello, Miss Real Deal. Good to see you. Yeah, I want to say thank you to all my moderators while we're here. You guys do such an amazing job. Thank you. I don't give you guys enough credit. E-pulling vehicle videos. What's up, man? Who's your Squatch? What's happening? Turn head and cough, huh? Well, at least I muted it, dude. Some people aren't so kind. So, Patrick, I sent that to your email. At least the one I have. Keith Blout, what's up? Louis Merez, what's going on? Northern Michigan Bigfoot. So happy to see you guys tonight. Hey, Mr. Lee, man, we got to get you on one of these nights. Quit being a pussy. Yeah, you don't even have to come on screen, dude. You can just click off camera and we can talk. One of these nights. Sharon, hello. Oh, I'm sorry if I offended anybody by using the P word. Mogs, do you have a place for comments? What do you mean? On my page, after the show is over, Larry, you can put elaborate. I mean, you can put comments after the show below the, where you normally leave comments. Otherwise, you have something to say, you can email me. My email is like right here, or it will be. Ta-da! Who else is here? Yeah, so I'm waiting to see if Patrick shows up. Shit, while I'm here. As you know, I'm going to be leaving Arizona. Got an opportunity to go hang out in Florida and do some work and meet some people and make some friends and fish. I'm going to fish. Yeah, so I think as the time gets closer to me leaving, I'm gonna start filming some stuff and start putting out some short videos, excuse me, of the daily grind. What the preparation, and then once I'm on the road, I'll film on the road, and I plan to meet up with some people, and we'll film that, and sort of like a day in the life for however many we put out. I put out we me. But there are so many people I couldn't do it without. Yeah, and when I get to Florida, I'm gonna start putting out like fishing videos and outdoor stuff. And I'll still do the show. This show must go on. Sorry about the other night. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to. There's some places I want to check out. I want to get into a little bit of squatching down there. Not heavily, but there are some places I want to check out. Some pretty interesting things going on down there. Florida is booming. Saw governor promoting it. Well, I know they're having some nice weather right now. Oops. Hey, where did the hell? Shit, you guys scroll too. This goes too quick. Mr. Lee 3PO says, Mo's great idea. Yeah, it's just I think it would be cool, to see what it takes to get from here to Florida, for one. That's it's probably about 2,300 miles. But there's a lot of places I want to stop along the way. I got some friends in Texas I want to say hi to. It'll be cool. So, I don't know if Patrick got that or not, or well, what I could do is, let me send it in Messenger. Oh, shit. I minimized the wrong thing. I mean, you still saw me, but I didn't see you guys. You just like disappeared off the screen. So what am I doing? I just want to make sure he gets it. So I will go here. All right. Well, Christy, I'm gonna post this link so you guys can both use it if you want. Where the hell is it? It's weird when you half screen things. It kind of, there it is. Things disappear. All right, Christy and Patrick, it's coming right now in Messenger. There you go. Yeah, when you get these two together, it's usually a good show. Let me close this. Right? Yes. Hit this. Well, hell, I only hit one wrong button. This is nerve-wracking. So yeah, Mike, you asked earlier, Bigfooting. Yeah, dude, I'll if I can film, I'll get out there and film, absolutely. But there's some scary friggin' spots down there. Who else? What a novel idea, Sandra. Not to put you on the spot there, buddy. No, it's all good. Hi, Linda. Ryan, what's happening, dude? Good to see you in here. So yeah, I sent the link out, so see what happens. I look like shit. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Sandra, what are you apologizing for? Because I posted it. It's on me. Too funny. All right. Oh, you know what? I forgot I turned this off. Oh, there's one. Hang on, guys. Let me bring on Patrick Vaughn. Patrick, what's happening?
How's it going, Moggs?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Snowed in, but doing all right.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't get any snow here in Arizona. The high country might have gotten some, but yeah, we didn't get that cold spell either. I'm kind of thankful about that. I know everybody's got to be suffering out there. I know Texas is really cold, and a lot of people are in dire straits right now. So prayers go out to everybody there and anybody affected by this storm.
Yeah, we got 16 inches of snow in my yard.
Oh wow!
And it was down to 1 degree with the negatives, wind chill. And I'm glad I have power back on, but I don't have water, so I can't shave her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it through it. So.
Right on. And you have heat and everything. You're good that way.
Oh yeah. I got a fireplace too.
Oh, right on.
So
I don't know if I put the link out there for Christy as well if she wants to use it. I don't know if she's gonna take advantage of it.
Okay, so what you want to talk about?
So, well, I said I'm moving to Florida. So I think I'm going to start doing I'm going to get a little more active in the field. Once I get down there.
Mm-hmm.
What advice you got? I'm new to this research, or just really getting into the woods and putting myself out there, knowing that these things are out there.
Okay. What I would do, and this is common for me, a common practice. I find the woods to be a shared area. They have their area they live in that is void of man, that man doesn't, it's too far back for man to get to. Okay. Everything in between there and say all your camping spots that man goes to camp in is all a shared area. So you have to discern out where their living area is that's void of man, and to understand what the shared area is and how they use it, and to go in and tracking. Which from what I understand, Florida is extremely difficult to track with the growing seasons as long as it is, and all the grasses, all the grasses and the marshes, it's hard to track. So, I would get with someone down there that's been in there looking for them and has an idea.
Sure.
I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, but being new to this,
Mm-hmm.
with this strong belief, I can't say I know. I said it a minute ago. I'm going to go in there knowing they exist, but I believe they exist, or have a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how I'm going to react out there.
Well, it's so amazing how many levels of believing, knowing, and acceptance there is inside of our own heads. Because I didn't believe, but I saw. And I saw without believing. I knew it was there without accepting it. It took me a long time to accept what I knew. And I'm hard-headed. I'm first one to say I am hard-headed when it comes to new things. So I think I experienced almost every level of that, and
Wow.
and it's and it's a crazy situation. So yeah, I would find out. I would find the wilder areas around surround. What part of Florida are you moving to?
I'm moving down to Cape Coral, down by Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate has a couple properties around Florida, that I'm going to be working on. So I'll be out and about in Florida, be from North Florida down, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd find the wilder places, the national forest or whatever they have there that's equivalent to it. And I'd find, there's a lot of flooding issues in swamp areas, and I use that to my advantage. Like where my area is, it has floodplains in it, and when it floods, they move up into, not just the elevation that keeps them dry, but the elevation that also gives them access to the food sources they need. And so I would look at how it floods out, where the floodplains are, find the elevation that doesn't become isolated. You know, because they don't like being isolated where they can't get to the food source. So I'd find the high ground outside of that floodplain that's also attached to other areas.
Okay.
You know, and I'd go in tracking. You know, if I can, and be careful because there's a lot of snakes and gators and hogs down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much experience with gators or hogs. Snakes, you know, they don't bother me. I mean, they could, but
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of them.
Well, snakes will react to you badly. Alligators in the springtime will react to you badly. Hogs, it don't matter what time of year it is, they'll try
They
to chase
just
you
always,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll eat you. You
Oh,
know?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
So-
flip through here real quick and check chat.
If they have any questions,
Mr. DeVere says Florida, mosquitoes and cottonmouths. But there's a question mark there.
yeah,
I think it's better as a statement.
yeah, I would definitely get a mosquito repellent, whether it's the machine works great, or, you know, it's actually a little better than the spray because the spray will get you sticky and of course you can smell it.
Oh, yeah. Sandy Clemens says I'll be an hour away from Mayaca State Park. Real squatchy there, she says. Well, that's where that one picture came from. Wasn't it the Mayaca ape? Where it looks like an orangutan behind a whatever the hell kind of plant that is down there. Some sort of palm frond.
Well, those are great in primitive survival. They make great cordage. They make great shelters. If you get out there and, you know, you're lost or something, grab a bunch of them, weave them together, make you a little hut out of it. You can make you some cordage out of them. But I definitely have a platform off the ground at least 5 or 6 feet between a couple of trees, you know. But I watched an interesting video down there of a guy with one on thermal. You know, he sees this being on thermal walking from one tree to another. And he says, I'm done. He left, and that was it, you know. And he'll talk about it, but he wouldn't go back with it. You know, he actually sent his son back out there. He says, here, investigate these if you want.
Wow. So, and that was that his first sighting?
It's like, yeah, that was his first time. He was told, he was suspected. His son was out actively investigating, but he was the one with the thermal because his son couldn't afford a thermal, and he didn't want to send his son out there with a thermal. So he went out there using the thermal for him, and he was sneaking around in the dark and caught it going from one tree to another. And he handed the thermal to his son and says, I'm out. You know,
That was proof enough.
I'm trying to remember what I watched that on. I think
That's
that
a-
has.
Larry's
Go
got
ahead.
a good question. Sorry. Larry says, as someone new, how in the world do you tell their area from a shared area?
It takes a little experience, honestly.
Do they mark their territories like as far as their area? You know, like is
Mostly not. Mostly they don't, unless. Now, if you're going there as an active researcher or active investigator, and they know that you know, and you've been into their area, whatever trail that they use that area in my experience, I've had them put up an X. For me not to go past here. I've
Okay.
had them do that. But their area, it is always an area void of man. There's going to be some kind of a barrier there. Mine likes to use water.
okay.
And, and I find it redundant. I find the criteria for their area to be redundant in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, in Arkansas, their area is behind a water source that man doesn't, man, if a hunter's going into the woods, he's not going to say, hey, let me swim this creek and get back behind this, water barrier and go
Sure.
on this elevation. So that naturally creates an area that is void of man, and that's where they'll set up at. So that's their home site.
That's interesting.
And you can track, and you can go in, a mile or so in, tracking these creeks and find their crossings. I know where a crossing is that is just 100 yards south of a human camping area. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but when you go in, they'll keep that barrier between you and them. Something that you're not going to want to cross.
That's interesting. It's good to know, because down there, I've been looking like Google Earth is my friend. I know like every street in Cape Coral already. Every canal that gets me to fishing. I've looked at it all.
Oh yeah.
But I also went, I looked at the Everglades and stuff, which is pretty fascinating. And there's a lot of different state parks and wildlife management areas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot to explore up there. So,
and don't think you have to get way back there to find them. Okay, if man likes to set himself up in the easier elevations, and then you drop down, and then you drop down in their swamp. If there's say 3 or 4 square miles of land there that is on the edge, and then man has a camping area in that in that region, they can be just a few hundred yards off of you. That could be a shared area that they use, for food sources or travel ways. So that's been in my experience. So.
If anybody in chat has questions, please put it in caps. And CD Squatchers says, great fishing in the green swamp and with whatever. With Laco Coochie, I don't even know how to pronounce that, is good fishing. I'll figure it out when I get there, how to pronounce it.
I'm glad you're having that experience. Get to go down and experience.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I it's one of those. The opportunity came along, and everything lined up. Just the stars, the moon, everything just is falling into place. Mm-hmm. I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Life's too short. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. With La Cucci. Okay.
Sounds a little perverted.
Sort of.
Maybe I need to go down there.
Steve is. Where'd Patrick go? I don't know. Try Florida.
Yeah.
Stevie B says I was close. Stevie lives in Florida.
Ah.
As a matter of fact, Stevie is going on the expedition with Carrie in next month.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's gonna be a tough endeavor.
Yeah.
I've done them for 4 days, 4-day long expedition, and you're running 18 to 20 hours a day, and it was tough. It was exhausting. You wake up. I ran from say 8 to 10 in the morning until 4 o'clock the next morning. So between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., I'm showering, laying down, and trying to get and sleeping 4 hours and getting back up. And you do that for 4 days straight. and you're covering, you're covering 5 or 6 miles a day, on foot at least.
Yeah, that's a
tough.
lot of, yeah. I see Christy just popped in, but how does Sasquatch navigate through swamp environments?
So long as it avoids you, that's what matters. You know, yeah. I mean, they'll just use the topography. In my experience, anywhere they can get an angle on, because they study you and they pay attention to how you interact with the environment. And so it's like you're on one side of the coin and they're on the other. Okay, so whatever environment you're not, taking up or disturbing, they'll screw around on that other side.
Sure.
Hey, Christy,
What's up? What's up, Christy?
Oh, not much.
How you feeling?
Relaxing. My medicine
You look
got me all.
you look comfortable.
I'm all right, just tired.
Yeah.
Medicine's got me all messed up.
Oh, is it helping though?
Not really.
No. Well, everybody in chat, send out some prayers, please. Christy, get well soon. I want you to feel better.
I'm trying.
You're doing fine, girlie.
Yeah, you're a tough chick. Hope you don't mind me saying that word.
No, that's fine.
She is.
Tough, I mean.
She is. I've had her bail out of the back seat of a truck with a 9mm to cover my butt.
Right on.
She's tough.
Did you tuck and roll or just come out all SWAT?
Come out all look like SWAT, So
Right on.
Yeah. I can't see the chat room, so hi, everybody. I'm on my phone.
Mr. DeVere says hi. Mopar says hi. Oh, you gotta hit that to scroll it up.
Dark Hour says love and light.
And yeah, everybody's saying prayers. So
Thank you. My dad's home finally.
Oh,
I
awesome.
went and picked him up from the hospital, and he's still paralyzed on the left side. Yeah. He's walking with a cane now.
Okay. Well, I'm glad he's home.
Yeah, me too. So I'm on call half the night.
Stevie says Christy is a tough, cool chick.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
What else?
Punk.
I got your punk.
She gets on her channel and she's like, "What's up, punk?" And I'm in chat. I mean, it's not like I can actually rebuttal anything,
Oh, you can, but it's better in person.
My prayers go out to all the people without electricity too.
Yeah.
I got a friend that don't have no electricity and no food. I had to go buy food and send it to him today.
Well, God bless you for doing it.
Yeah, I try to help people out.
It's important,
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you can give, you give,
Yeah.
And
Whether
one
it's my
day
last
it'll come
dollar
back
in my
to
pocket, I'll do it. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting good gracious,
Bell Prepper says, Christy, prayers, love you. Or love you.
Oh, love you too, Belle. She's so sweet.
Yeah, she is.
She is a sweetheart.
Mopar, have a good night.
Good night, Mopar.
Thanks for showing up tonight.
Yeah, a few times a week I'll pick my phone up and it'll say punk. I'm like, girl.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's always trying to get me in a loincloth.
Oh, that shit almost came out my nose. Holy shit.
Try going
I
out
do
there with the loincloth now since you got snow.
I've actually done that. Yeah.
It's too
We're gonna have
cold
to
out there for me.
start calling you Tarzan or what, man?
Well, on the Kansas border, yeah, it was 19 degrees and 3 foot of snow on the ground, 40-mile-an-hour wind, and
Thank God you ain't got short legs.
Lewis wants to know: do you, Patrick? Do you hunt from a blind or what? I mean, you hunt, obviously. I would.
I do hunt. It depends really. If I'm stalking, no.
No. Yeah.
But what I will do is I go in tracking an area, and I find the best place there is to set up, and I'll take natural, a tree. If there's a tree down, I'll
Just
cut
still
limbs
hunt.
off
Still
of it.
hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cut limbs off of it and make me a hide, and then when I get in there to hunt, I'll sit down in the middle of that hide. All the brush is like this.
Right on.
Which I have an I don't know if I've told this. I have an interesting story about that. From the first encounter I was ever told to before. This was before I ever had mine, and I'm just kind of like, I thought that guy must have been out there smoking something special, But he actually got under a tree. He had an area. He had private land that backed up to a national forest, and he had a spot about half a mile in, and had a tree down, and he would get up under that tree and sit there, just real quiet. And he had a Bigfoot walk right in front of him. Okay.
Never knew he was there.
It didn't know he was there. He was just sitting there, and after some questioning, he's like, "No, I was stone cold sober, man." I said, I got up under this brush top of a downed tree and was sitting there, and I watched it walk through. The morning was just kind of turning gray, and he said it walked within about 20 feet of him and walked just smooth. He couldn't hear any footfalls. He didn't hear it walking, just smooth, right through that bottom. And
Wow.
he was just south of Arkansas, and this is how it affected him. He quit his job. He worked a lot of overtime, bought all the gear he thought he would need, and spent the next 2 years hunting this. Okay.
Hunting as in with a weapon or
No, just
searching it out.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't wrap his head around it, so he was trying to see it again so he could wrap his head around it. It kind of goes back to all those levels of acceptance and belief that exist in us all. It's tough. And he said, I spent 2 years, I never saw it again. He said, and he had just hired in, he'd been working with me about maybe 4 months when he told me. He said, I just came off a 2-year break hunting this thing down, trying to capture it on film or something. And I actually used his model, because for me, everything you do and everything you don't do matters. If you go in the woods and something's happening, that means something. If you go in the woods and nothing happens, that also means something. You have to discern out both of those to get to the truth of the situation that you're facing in both, whether you have a positive or a negative, finding. And so I used his encounter and him as a model of what not to do, and not in a derogatory way. Just, this is what I don't want to do, so let's do something different. So, and that's part of the model that helps Christy get yelled at.
Remember that? Bah, 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 bah.
Good night, typical.
I don't see any other questions here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Mr. Lee 3PO. Patrick, what is your ultimate goal with Sasquatch?
Sit down and have a beer with him and wear loincloths together.
I wouldn't want to excite one that much. And he'd probably just point and laugh at me. But honestly, it's very ambitious. I want a corporate backer. I know what equipment it's going to take to do the job. I know what platform and all the parts of the platform that you're going to have to put together, and the technologies that you'll have to marry together in order to document and film them. I understand what it's going to take, but it's going to take a corporate backer for that. So a corporate backer, and also ultimately, I want to chase one down, dart it. Do a study on it like you do all the other beings on this earth, the polar bears, the brown bears, sharks. That you dart them, you measure them, you take tissue samples, hair samples, all the blood work, and turn it loose and take that data and have that on film so that you can really put out a documentary on these things without having to kill one.
That's ambitious. It's the right idea, but that's a huge undertaking.
Well, I know where they live at. I know how they live. I know what they're eating. I know how they're moving, and I can track them. That's a small part of the equation. I need the other part of the equation, in which, I know it'd probably never happen, but it'd be great if I could have, if I ever hit the Powerball lottery, you're going to see it, because I'm going to do it.
Right on.
And I really think they're easier to find in the South than they are in the mountain areas, because it's hard to track when you're tracking along. You hit rock. I've tracked in the mountains. You're tracking along, and all of a sudden the soil gets shallow, and it doesn't leave impressions. So you're using trace evidence of one skipping or scuffing its foot, and it might not do that for another 20 feet or 30 feet, and so it's hard to track. You either got great tracks in sand, or mud, or snow, or it hits rock, and then you're done for a quarter, half a mile, and you're having to circle around and find it. In the South, with the land being so condensed, our land is more condensed than what BLM land is. You find a large tract of land here, you're talking maybe 50,000 acres. That's not actually a large tract of land, not compared to what it is in the mountains. And those 50,000 acres all have mud and pine straw and red clay and sand, So it's a little easier. It's a little easier down here.
Mr. DeVere wants to know, do you think they go underground during the day?
In some areas, if there's caves, perhaps. There's not areas.
Christy doesn't think so.
Down here, they exist under the sun, but they see you coming a lot sooner than you even sense them, and they get out of your way. And you can find the tracks where they were. You can get into an area and walk in, and say walk for 45 minutes to an hour in, and they saw you 30 minutes ago, and you're finding their tracks, and you can track them, but you're not going to see them.
No.
And they do that so well, it's almost like they disappear, or they don't exist under the sun. They do. You're outclassed. You're not going to get up on them.
Sure.
Yeah, they definitely.
Christy, Stevie B wants to know, upon entering the woods, how do you personally prepare? Pray, talk to them, smudge, all the above?
Oh, what I do is I pray. I tell them that I'm coming in with respect, no harm done to the woods. If you don't want me here, let me know. That's how I do it.
Right on.
if you go out there with a conquest of having bad ambition about you, they ain't gonna want you there. They're gonna run you out.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've experienced that, exactly what Christy said, because I went in not with harmful intentions, but aggressive ones. Because I got a camera right here, and we're on expedition, and we need something. And so I start off small and ramp it up and ramp it up and ramp it up, because I know what pushes their buttons. Okay? And I will push that button until finally it'll go, shut up already, you know. It's going to yeah, it'll respond, you know.
Megan says, a snuff dipping, squatch chasing from the south. Now that's badass. Rock and roll, brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. I keep going, you know, and yeah. I'm gonna tell you one of the, you know, someone asked me what was one of your best situations that could prove one of these things, and Christy was there, and she saw the eye shine. I saw my tracking partner and I were looking at this thing in the field walking with his two red eyes.
There it is.
Yeah, my tracking partner's elbowing me, going, there
Dude,
it is.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, and not only
No,
was
you
the
gotta
camera
do it. You gotta do it the right way. There it is.
There it is. Yeah, that was my tracking partner.
Right on.
But we're watching this in this field at 115 yards, watching us, you know.
I think it was
And
the same one that I seen in
Yeah,
that patch of woods, and when we walked around and we saw that nasty, goopy shit. Excuse my French. You know that alien
we'll talk about
sperm or whatever it was. I don't know.
Miss Real Dill asks, Patrick, do you think they cover their tracks and scat?
I've seen them cover their tracks, but they time you. Okay, if it's a time of year that people don't go in there, they don't worry about covering the tracks. I've walked into areas, they're completely relaxed, leaving tracks everywhere, because no one's supposed to be there in that time frame. Okay, they pattern you and they study you and they watch you. What, you know, in our area, you know, September till December, the woods are just, you know, people are in and out of it all the time. You go in April, no one's, you know, May, you know, after turkey season, no one's supposed to be in there. And so you can go in there, you know, but see, they started a spring squirrel season, and so you can go in there on May 1st. Well, guess what? I'm finding these 16-inch tracks, and these, you know, I'm finding them all over the place, and they're not hiding them. But if, you know, if they know I'm going in there, you know, they'll hide them. Now I've seen them step on trees for 150, 200 yards, stepping on the side of trees because something in their environment changed and they went to hide in their tracks. Their scat, I've only found one piece of scat that I attribute to a Sasquatch. He didn't hide it. I don't know. I haven't actually followed one around that closely to pay attention to what it does with its business.
A big loafer.
Oh, I'm telling you, this thing was honking huge. Okay, I left it alone. Yeah, I'm talking that big around, and you know.
Didn't even step in it.
Well,
I've seen something that big.
Well, Shorty found it, but
Joe
There
Pass
it
says,
is.
snuff can save your life from a squatch. It's been proven.
it saved my life, I believe, in my second encounter, because it couldn't smell me. So I spit at the door, and it smelled the snuff, and then it backed up and went on.
Oh.
But yeah, we were talking about that eye shine Christy saw. She saw the eye shine. It starts doing this coy wolf call, and then within 5 minutes, it's in the field. We're watching this, and the camera's behind us, picking up its eye shine, watching us while we're sitting there watching it walk around this field. And we got and we casted the tracks of it. So,
Yep.
Stevie B says Mogs can talk about the poop in the woods for days.
Yeah. Who wants to know about
I
their
I
shit?
think it was
That's
ultimately
gross.
bear shit, but
well, I'm gonna tell you right now, this wasn't bear poo in my area. It was a big honking thing, that big around, and it was in an area that I would interact with little Sam.
okay.
You know, he'd come in and do a whoop and a whistle. You know, matter of fact, the hill I found it on, just uphill 60 yards, is where he liked to sit at because he could see all the way out to a rock road, and he could cover all this bottom here. And he whooped at me from, I called it the Matterhorn because it comes together in such a sharp hilltop. But he said he'd sit there and whoop at me. When I got to my truck, I whooped at him. He whooped back, and I said, "Just check it, dude." You know.
Joe Pass, that's I believe that's Albert Otzman. Was that the
But Joe passed Squatch and Cowboy.
Yeah, I think that was Otzman. That story he's referring to with the Katie G says stepping on the sides of trees, could that account for some odd structures or tree breaks and bends?
I don't see why not. I mean, in Mississippi, we found a thonged tree. You know where it gets thonged down and it grows up like this. You know,
Okay.
it comes out of the ground, makes a 90-degree turn for about 2 feet, and then turns straight back up. And that's an old way of marking trails. And I got and this person is sitting there talking about, man, I found a Native American thong tree. You know, I get down there and this tree isn't more than about 15 years old. I said, I hate to tell you, but a Native American didn't do this. Something else did this. So, what do you think would know that technology to do that?
Sure.
You know.
That person that just left that question, Katie G, I saw her in the other chat room. She was asking a question to Janice Carter about Judicola Rock from South Carolina. If the Sasquatch left the glyphs on the rock, it was supposedly a story of Sasquatch, which is another thing for Sasquatch, is what's called. That's what I call them. Sasquatch. It was by a giant, supposedly with 6 fingers, though, that left the marking on the rock. That was the answer to your question from Janice Carter.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
Megan says, Patrick, that was a shitty situation. No pun intended.
I'm glad
I think there was a pun intended.
Yeah. Well, Shorty and I were tracking, and he's like, "Holy crap! Look at this crap!" And I'm looking down, and I said, "Don't step in it. Don't touch it." You know. I mean, it was.
He would stick his finger in it. Him. There it is.
He's fearless. He walks out into the brush with 2 of them and is sitting there knocking with them. Okay. Now, in my area, just this past, right the first of fall, last of summer, we're sitting there in chairs with no weapons, knocking, and little Sam comes in through the trees in the starlight, and he gets out and walks out there. He wants to shake this boy's hand. He walks out there to little Sam, and little Sam, he gets within about 15 feet of little Sam, and little Sam darts off around the grass. That's how, and I'm nervous just sitting in a chair in front of my truck, you know. I can't be around him without being nervous, and I don't know why.
Katie G says, thanks, Christy. I was hoping she knew if it and could offer some translating.
Yeah, no problem, baby. I was going to answer it in the chat room, but with all the questions popping up, they had so much going on in there, you know. But yeah, it is Judicola Rock is what it's called, and it's like I said, they call them Sasquatch. Sukalu.
Joe says, I'm not saying anything about tree structures in front of Christy anymore. LOL.
You got your question answered, right? You got your question answered. She answered your question. Some guy says, did you see a Sasquatch make tree structures? And she said, yes, she did. So,
Oh, okay.
bam. And I put in
Yeah,
there, too, she's not the only one that can talk to Sasquatch either. And then somebody else is saying something about there are no experts in the field. No, there's no experts in the field, but there's more people that know about them than others.
Sure. Absolutely.
there's no experts.
No, there's no experts, but
They're
there's a
none.
lot
Yeah,
of people that interact with them, that talk to them, you know?
yeah. It's just,
I mean, like she did, she grew up with them and living with them, you know? I mean, there's other people out there like Kevin Lang with Glag, you know?
Oh, there's a lot of people out there I know of, I've heard of that have had relationships or, whatever you want to call it with these people. Patrick, what is your opinion on the Bigfoot UFO ghost connections theory? Bunk?
I'm a very matter-of-fact person. Okay, what I say, I back up with physical evidence and or pictures of physical evidence. Okay, I have physical evidence and pictures of physical evidence of Sasquatch crossing creeks and walking through fields and grabbing saplings and stepping across, logs. So if you want me to believe, and I've said this once before, if you want me to believe that a UFO came down, sat down, and a Sasquatch walked out of it, and then the UFO took off, call me. I track for people for free. Okay? I don't charge any money. We'll find, and I have the skill set, we'll find where that Sasquatch walked out of that UFO. And we'll find where that UFO landed, scorched earth, or landing gear, whatever it used. And I would like to see that, because I don't have that. All I hear is a theory that someone threw out there that keeps getting regurgitated by
Sure.
other people as a fact. Okay?
Yeah, they have no connection with UFOs. They don't like UFOs. They call them star people. They don't like star people because they like us. Some things will come down and abduct you, you know?
Kevin from Southeast Georgia, has anyone seen them reaching out and grabbing trees, kind of like swinging on monkey bars as they run? Looks like it's making them faster on feet. Are they propelling themselves by grabbing trees is what they're saying?
The ones I saw moving were just that fast. They didn't need anything to make themselves any faster. I have had them grab trees. I had one tear a tree down, okay, in an aggressive state. I had one rip a limb off and throw it at me. And I talk about that because I had two other people.
I'd be throwing trees at you too.
Punk.
I'd be throwing.
I was just gonna say, how do you say punk in Sasquatch?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew, because I would sure learn it.
Overbuilt. You got to understand, Patrick. You've been here before. Some of our screw it. I'm just putting it out there. Patrick, if you were lost in snowy Washington State and Sasquatch Girlie saved your life, bringing you to her cave, then she got that look in her eye and wanted to cuddle, would you be her man?
I'd do any damn thing she wanted me to do.
In your loincloth.
As many times as she wanted me to do it. Yeah, however many times, whatever she wanted, until she fell asleep and I'm sneaking out of there and taking a bath.
Overbuilt, you got your answer.
Dude,
That was a good one. Well, it's kind of like that old joke, the guy takes the girl out on the boat. You didn't hear nobody drowning last night, did you?
that's just like that expedition that we went on with the The one that was coming up to the cabin. That's the one that freaks me out the most.
Well, but it wasn't there for us. It was there because of the new construction going on. Because we found its tracks when we got there that day.
I know, but
And then 2 nights later, it comes and starts clawing at the cabin door, back side of the cabin, dragging its nails down the cabin. And,
yeah, where they pulled out the air conditioning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Silver 7 Wolf Moon wants to know, how do you think they deal with temperature changes? Do they have immunity to weather fluctuations, or?
I think it starts with the topography. Like, if we're down south, I think their coat is not as thick as the ones up north.
Well, my question on that, I only have a question for that. Do they grow a winter coat?
Maybe
You
so.
know, because a lot of animals will generate extra hair and extra under hair. And
I know.
I don't know that.
I have a shepherd.
Other than that, they just suffer it. Actually, I think they suffer the heat more than they do the cold. Okay, I think the cold actually is pretty good on them, but the heat, August, it's dead in my area. I really think they just lay up in a mud hole somewhere. Yeah.
Create a wallow.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sawdust Beast is in the house. What's up, Mark?
Howdy, Mark.
Mark says, hey, Miss Christine.
Hello, Mark. How are you? Good show tonight, by the way.
Rafaela, yeah, that was a great show, Mark. I was listening right up to the end, as long as I could.
Not cool, Megan.
Oh, jeez, what did I miss?
A funny poke at me.
What'd you say?
I'm not repeating it, but he can put it up there.
I ain't even saying it.
We were talking about a female squatch. No, if it was a guy, he'd have to kill me. I carry a big knife.
Luckily, you have a big bar of soap.
That's what the rope is for that goes around your neck.
Girl, and I back you up all the time. You gonna throw me under the bus like that?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, punk.
Yes,
It's okay. Don't apologize.
Yeah, I had your back with my 9. Remember that. Remember those words.
Yeah, I know. Hey, we've been in some sketchy stuff. I'm telling you. I've seen her in the
Yeah.
thick of it. She was behind me
Yeah.
when one rolled over.
That one that
It was
came
in-
onto the gravel.
That one too. But one was in a pine thicket, and it rolled over and slid down the hill. And she was right there with, had my back the whole time.
Bell wants to know, do you think a change in elevation from sea level to, say, 6,000 feet would affect them?
I'm sure it would.
I'm sure their ears will pop.
Yeah, I mean, that affects every animal as far as
Sure.
I know. I would have to witness it to know, but my theory would say that it would have to in some way, shape, or form. But
Yeah, it would just seem, I don't know. I mean,
it affects me. I know it affects me.
well, breathing, like Flagstaff is 7,000 feet, so there's less oxygen, and I feel it, when I'm there.
Well, sea level to 10,000 feet is 25% less oxygen. It affects me because I'm 268 feet above sea level. I went to 8,100 and some change, and couldn't breathe. I mean, I literally jumped out of a. Go ahead.
That's extreme.
Yeah, I literally jumped out of a Toyota Land Cruiser, made 25 yards, and dropped down and crawled back to the Land Cruiser, made it back down to 5,000 feet where I could breathe. So
Christy's no. Katie says, Patrick, Christy, do y'all reckon Sasquatch think of humans the way we think of vermin? Small, smelly pests that turn up where you least want them, like ants at your picnic.
Yeah, I think they feel the same way about us because of the way we smell them. Me and Patrick smelled them like 3 or 4 times, and it smelled like stale deer piss. I've smelt them
Yeah.
before at my other friend's place. They smelled musky and like body odor. So yeah, I think they probably say that about us. Ooh, them people stink. They got a good sense
Well,
of smell.
it's it's my observation that they operate on a set of rules when it comes to us. They are live and let live. They respect life, even though we're a pain in their rear end, because we take up so many resources that they're trying to compete for.
Yeah,
So that has to bother them. But as far as looking at us as another living being, I really do believe they respect life until they can't afford to anymore, and that's when you'll have some bad things happen, I think.
Kentucky Goblin says, do you think that Bigfoot will kill cats and other small animals? Yeah, I think
yeah,
that.
they have. Yeah. Now,
Um,
I can tell you this. I'll jump in and answer this question. I have a friend that has squatch on his property, and he's got dogs, and they don't touch the dogs. They got neighbors that have cows and horses. They don't even touch the cows and horses. They leave that alone. But as far as a stray animal goes, they'll kill it.
well,
If it becomes a threat in if it becomes a threat in their area, they will kill it.
yeah.
Just like people. People say, "Oh, the 411, that's always Sasquatch." No, it's not always Sasquatch. There's different there's different areas, where people go
Well,
missing. It could be falling down a ridge, getting killed doing hiking or whatever. It's not always Sasquatch.
well, I I heard a report, two local guys that would never ever want me to say their names. When they were kids, they watched one walking down a drainage coming out of a major metropolitan area with a dog in its hand, and the dog's mouth he had his fingers around the dog's mouth to keep it shushed up as he walked out of the metropolitan area. And
Mhm.
you're talking probably late 60s, early 70s when that happened. I have also tracked an area where I found the owner of the land's dog tracks 20 feet from Sasquatch tracks. Now, I don't know if they're in the same time frame, but the dog certainly knows about them, and they certainly know about the dog, and that dog's alive to this
Mhm.
day. So what
Yep.
what makes what makes that decision? I can't say, but they have, you know, according to two guys I know real well.
Yeah. I know that story.
So Megan wants to know what part of Mississippi have you squatched without giving away too much.
Southwest Mississippi.
Okay.
There's a lot of Sasquatch in a lot of places that people would never guess they're at. I mean,
No.
they live just outside of rural communities, and they're right. There's no strays in our area. You know, you'll see a couple of dogs come through the area. They're not there a few days. You know.
Stevie says there was more than Sasquatch in the woods.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, my thing is where again, where I want pictorial proof or castings of something backing that up. I have castings of Bigfoot tracks. I have pictures of Bigfoot tracks. I have pictures of handprints and mud pies from little juvenile Bigfoot. I have yells and screams and audio of Bigfoot. Now, if something else is out there, I would like to see that backing that up. Okay.
Sure. Proof.
I mean,
I don't. I'm gonna tell you, it's a pet, and I know it might not be popular to say this, but it's a pet peeve of mine for people to regurgitate things that are said that aren't backed up with physical proof. At least some.
No,
At least
people busted my balls the other day for saying this. I just commented how people really have to stop talking matter of factly, and if you're going to make a statement, at least say, in my opinion. And now
Yeah.
they'll bust my balls for that because they did the other day. Everything was, in my opinion.
Well, on Patrick Vaughn Facebook page, you can go into my tracking pictures, and every track in there has a storyline behind it, many of which Christy Sci-Fi witnessed, along with casted tracks, hand grabs. I can back up what I say. If I say something's a matter of fact because I witnessed it, I have, demonstrative it may be, but still demonstrative representation of the physical evidence that's there. And so, if you want to start talking about other things, at least do that. On your Facebook somewhere, create an album that says Dog Man and UFO sign, and go out there in the field and take a picture of where a UFO landed and where a dog man had his track at or something, So, and don't bust Mog's chop, it's just my unpopular opinion.
No, it's something similar to what I said the other day.
Yeah.
Silver 7 Wolf Moon, do you think they are affected by human epidemics such as smallpox, Spanish flu, and now COVID-19?
They could be. I don't know, but they could be.
All right.
Christy, you got anything?
No, I don't
Rooted.
know about that.
Rooted Expedition, good night. I know it's been a while. You probably didn't even hear that. Miss Real Dill asks, what do you think they do with their dead? And if one dies alone, where are the bones?
They bury them.
That's what I heard.
It's my own theory. All right. The fact is, I've only tracked one alone. That's a fact. All the other ones I tracked, there was anywhere from 3 to 7 others there with them.
Wow.
It's my theory that as primitive as a being, no matter how intelligent they are primitive primal. And there's no way a primitive being would let a body go to waste. Meat is meat.
Kentucky Goblin says, I might have missed the answer, but have you seen signs of sticks stacked in a neat pile as a sign of Bigfoot?
Yeah. I actually have pictures. There's an X, and then there's 2 sticks beside it. And those 2 sticks were digging tools. They actually went inside of a hillside and dug out, excavated a hole, and pulled the mud out of the hole and resurfaced a trail of theirs that was repairing the erosion that was coming down the side of a hill. So,
wow.
Yeah, there was a stick there, and they were both clean that evening. I got back that morning, and one had the red clay mud on it, and the hole was in the side with the mud pulled out and run down. So,
my dogs are barking.
Someone saw a Sasquatch wearing a mask the other day.
Who said that? Megan. I have to really hop up here in a minute and see what the hell my dogs are barking at.
Maybe it's a Squatch.
Normally they don't bark like they're barking like Like I just opened the door and she's just outside in the living room barking at something. Hold on a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Blah, 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 blah.
So, Christy, how you doing? What's up? Long time no see.
I know,
Haven't talked to you in days.
huh? I know. I've been resting, trying to get some sleep and just get better, you know? Like I said, that
Oh, the
medicine
pitfalls of going live.
What's wrong?
Sorry. The neighbor came home, so they're barking at the neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Kentucky
Gotta
Goblin
call
says
my
the reason
doctor tomorrow and find out. Go ahead.
Kentucky Goblin says the reason I asked the question is I have seen this as early as 2 weeks ago. But what was?
What kind
Did I
of
miss-
structure did you see?
The sticks, I think the straight stick.
Yeah,
Question.
the stacked
Yeah.
sticks. Where are we at?
Well, it took more than just the stacked sticks. I had the tracks leading up to a trail crossing of a creek, and then the trail crossed the creek and went up into elevation. And I also had a trail going up and around that hillside, and then I had the X and the stacked sticks that were there that was being used as digging tools. So
Joe Pass, the Squatch and Cowboy, wants to know, Patrick, would you consider getting together someday and go out out into the field?
yeah, I mean, why not?
There you go,
So-
Joe.
Sounds like a fun time. I'm looking forward to. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, we have the Falk Monster Camp out coming up in Falk, Arkansas, March 5th, and I plan on going to it. And I'm also running expeditions out of there with another show with P3 Productions,
Okay.
and we're going to try to gather more evidence. And I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun.
Who's that, Gary?
Yep, that's Gary.
Gary Spikes?
Gary Spikes. Yep, Junior.
Yeah, I want to. I think in July I'm going to try to get up to Tennessee, to the Gatlinburg. I think it's on the 24th or something. I'm going to go check out that Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it.
If you get up there, I know someone
Convention?
that found a
What's
convention.
that?
Yeah,
Convention. I couldn't think of the word.
but there's a place called Frog Mountain
You are-
that I know someone found a track on. It's a real track.
Right on.
Such a ribbit of a hill, huh?
You're so silly, girl.
Jay Smith says, I'm really curious about baby Sasquatch.
All right.
Uh,
I've
don't have
tracked
any-
I've tracked
Go
a
ahead.
couple, but I've never held one. I know they're toddling at age 5. The size 5, they're toddling. Okay, so a 5-inch track, when you find it, Mama's putting it down and picking it back up, putting it down, picking it back up. You know, now the little boy in my area, Mama let him come all around me. The little girl, I can't get nowhere near her. They protect that. So
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the story where they were very protective of a human child. It was a girl who was in the woods alone. Like, she had free reign all around her property, but they were really surprised that humans would let the girl have as much freedom as they did. I forget where the story came from. It was pretty interesting. So yeah,
yes.
they're protective of their females,
Yeah, and well, tracking Sasha and Little Sam.
in my
for sure-
opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, the fact of tracking Sasha and Little Sam together, where she was very close by. Now, the older he got, he could get away from her a little bit, but she still kept an eye on him, because I could track her and him within yards of each other. I tracked him to one spot. He's a size 7.5 foot, and she's sitting on a knoll just on the backside of this hill. The hill comes down and there's a knoll, and she sits on that knoll, and her 2 feet are there, and he tore the ground up running circles around her. Okay, I mean just a mess. I mean, he kicked leaves out of the way. There's sand everywhere, and you see his tracks pointing all directions. And I could just understand what it's like to be in Walmart with my little boys were little, running around in circles around me, and I'm standing in line trying to check out. So, you can get some pretty cool insight from tracking them, and they are great parents. They really are.
See if anybody else has questions. What are we into? An hour and a half
I got
almost.
a picture of a
Wow.
baby squash.
Do you?
Mhm.
Right on.
I have to send it to you.
It's a rat.
It's not a rat.
I didn't know Sasquatch had tails.
That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke from an expedition. The scratching on the back of the cabin, someone screamed out, "That's a rat. That's a huge rat."
Yeah, you was in that bed where.
That bed sucked. That bed was terrible. Someone took someone
You
took,
ain't
those old metal box springs?
Yeah.
They go, "Rah, rah." Someone threw a memory foam mattress, a real soft memory foam mattress on top of it. And I'm 6'2", 244 pounds. I laid in that bed and it just folded up around me. I was like in a cocoon.
Taco.
You couldn't even
So
see him.
I didn't sleep the first 2 nights I was there because I couldn't, and I'm claustrophobic, and all that around me just bothered me. But the third night when all that happened, I hit the bed and was out.
One of my moderators just she was pointing out someone had a question, but I couldn't find the original question. Let's see. Logan Monster from Rachel Myers. So first time here, sounds like Sasquatch clans are tribal.
They are family oriented,
Yeah.
and not just family oriented. In my area, I have a male, a female, a equivalent to an 18, 19-year-old male, which is Little Sam, and then a young female. And they're a very tight-knit family. Now, in other areas, they are tight-knit family as well. But in southwest Mississippi, I didn't find any big tracks. They were all just like, it was like a clan of half-grown Sasquatches, about, I think there was 8 of them in there. And they're all, say
14.
7-inch track to a 14-inch track. All of them. So it was weird to be in that area, and I know they're extended family. I'm sure they're all related, but they're all in that one area together, and there's no adults. So I don't know if you consider it a tribe, but it's definitely a clan, And if you look up clan, I actually had to look it up in the dictionary to see what, the definition of
True
clan.
definition. Yeah.
But so I could talk about it and be educated on what am I saying here. A clan, does this fit?
Mm-hmm. And Rachel Myers, welcome.
Well, in my primitive survival groups, I come. That's my origin. My origin is not Bigfoot group. My origin is primitive survival group, and out of those, you have to research diligently and provide sketches, documentation of everything that you're doing and everything you carry. If you carry it, it has to be documented to that particular time period and era of history. And so everything is matter of fact. So and this, I have to do it too. But you know how hard it is taking those rules and putting it into this kind of subject? It'll drive you nuts, you know?
Whit wants to know, have you ever been charged?
For all that.
Define charged. I mean, I've been yelled at, growled at. I had one scuff his feet at me a few times.
Bluff charge type stuff.
The one that screamed at Christy and I let out a yell, and you could hear its feet on the ground. Choo, 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 choo. Now, it didn't come up to us. And it probably maybe made 10 yards from where it screamed at or yelled at. And I got chased. Yeah. Now, my first experience, I was chased for a mile out of the woods. So I don't know if you consider that charged or what.
Trying to rip that ass off.
I can always count on you, can't I?
Yeah.
Going back to, do you think something happened to the adults since it was all smaller, half-grown squatches in that area?
Well, see, there was two disturbing thoughts I had when I was tracking in that area. Either they were so unruly that the adults left the area, or the little ones might have ate them.
Those are disturbing thoughts.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just you can't rule anything out. You know, that's
sure.
When you're working on theory, you know, the fact is there's 8 half-grown Sasquatches there. Now you can draw your own theory off of that, and it's either either parents were sold, they died of natural causes, or they just left, or, you know, maybe there was some kind of predation there, you know.
Clan. Starting their own clan together, like a group of teenagers.
Tom Paul Cajun wants to know, Patrick, anything paranormal happen while experiencing these creatures?
Paranormal is a pretty loose term. I mean, are you talking about ghostly or something unexplained that they did that I can't explain?
Probably unexplained, sort of like the shimmering or cloaking or, you know.
Yeah, there's two things. You know, one was my latest experience when I saw one with 6 feet with my Q beam, and you can't see the hair. It's like the hair, the light wrapped around it without refracting it back to my eye. That was weird. And also, the very first experience, I got hit in the back with something, but nothing was there. And I felt the heat of the stare on me directionally. So how in the world can something stare at you and try and make you feel heat? You know, so those are the two things that stand out that I can't explain. I have no explanation for
it. Paranormal.
Am I froze up?
You're fine now. Yeah, you're fine.
Did anybody catch that, or do I need to repeat it?
No, I don't think you. I think everybody heard it.
Okay.
T Rev says, why do Sasquatch follow people home?
I hadn't had one follow me home.
You hear stories of it. But
I've had them follow us to camp. Okay. Christy and I both had them follow us to camp. You know, we were 3 miles away, being aggressive, being gruff, getting them to growl at us, and then we're like, okay, let's go drive 3 miles away and go to get to camp and go to sleep. Well, guess what? Just because we were done with Sasquatch, that means Sasquatch was done with us.
Yeah.
You know, so they're at our camp now, circling around and knocking.
Whoa.
Miss Real Deal has a good question, and I've actually thought about this. Do you think that Sasquatch taught the native tribes to build teepees?
Could possibly be, yeah.
Well, knowing that history, Palo Indian used the bones and an ivory tusk of woolly mammoths to make their shelters. You know, from before the land bridge and coming into the North Americas. So with those beings dying out, they'd have to have some kind of other source of building materials.
Sure.
So, you know, Native American, Palo Indian was making those type of structures well before they got into this continent. So, you know, I don't know. I can't say. That's like us. You know, I couldn't tell you which came first, the chicken or the egg. You know.
If it's scrambled, eat it.
Oh, can you imagine following a chicken around and if egg falls out? Is it? Hey, what fell out of that chicken's butt looks delicious. You know.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah. So.
Somebody figured it out one day.
We figured a lot of things out. And some people, I'm like, y'all are disgusting. How'd you put your tongue on that, you know?
Oh, excuse me. Well, I'm just trying to get as many questions answered as possible.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great discussion. I had fun.
Oh, absolutely. So have I.
Good to see Christy again. Go ahead.
She's making me tired. I'm getting all lazy. I'm like, oh, she looks so comfortable. I just want to kick back. Anyway.
Yeah, being snowed in, I didn't have to work tomorrow, so I'm like, hey, I get to sit up and watch Moggs.
All right, on.
And then,
How bad is the snow? Is it still thick outside?
I still got about 10 inches of snow out there.
Ooh. We don't have snow here, thank God.
And there's another storm. I mean, that's hitting the East Coast pretty soon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Mother Nature's pissed.
That's a good one, Katie. I have no idea.
That is weird.
Ew.
Probably some trapper.
Yeah, chewing on it is like,
The hell is on my finger?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh.
I don't believe I'll be licking beaver's butt. It tastes like vanilla, no thank you. Ugh.
Well, think about it. It'd be like,
Ew.
man, that tastes good to pie, you know?
Rex, take care.
It is a beaver.
Oh. Now what he just said makes sense. It's the meds.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Definitely the meds.
So, Moggs, have you been out in your area?
Just a little bit. Locally, not too much, you know, like I said, a little bit. Up on the Mogollon Rim, I've been up there once or twice. I went to visit another researcher, Arizona Squatch, Kevin Keeney. I went up there and to where he was camped out with his buddies, and that's where they had their experiences. And it was interesting listening to Janice Carter tonight because a lot of what she was saying, Kevin had said. It just made me think little bit more because now I'm hearing two people say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me. It's been logistics. I've been out here 10 years, and yet I've only had my license back for 6 months. I didn't have a license for 21 years.
Mm.
Oh, good. So you got your license back. That's good. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, hold on. What is this? Silver Seven Wolf Moon. There are different native structures per region. They might have learned from the natives. It's true too.
It's possible because I use WikiUps, as doing primitive survival. I've also slept in teepees, and I'm gonna tell you, teepee living's pretty good.
I've stayed in a teepee actually.
Yeah.
You made a tripod over the fire. Remember with the thing hanging?
What was hanging? Oh yeah, yeah, it's a cooking tripod with a. I just use a fork stick to hang a pot on to make some coffee.
Yeah.
What you laughing at?
Nothing.
What? Oh yeah, I got you.
Larry says, "Watch out, Moog's back on the road." No, I'm a good driver actually. Although
Stay off the sidewalk.
the other night driving down to Phoenix, that was like the first time I was on like a major highway in 21 years. I've gone back and forth from here to Sedona, but yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's like riding a bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used to drive a lot in Manhattan. Every day I was making deliveries in Manhattan. So you learn how to drive pretty quick.
Yeah, I've been in Houston and Dallas, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't do big cities well. I'm so, I grew up claustrophobic, but the older I get, the worse it is. I can't wear a watch, and I can't go downtown with all those big buildings towering over me. I freak out. So,
what's with the watch?
it's tight.
Okay.
Anything that's tight on me, I can't stand it. It'll sit there and bug me, and I can take most anything over a time period, but like a watch on me, after about an hour, it's coming off because it's sitting there in the back of my mind bugging me.
Behave, Christy.
Yeah. Oh dear Lord.
She's dying to crack up.
Oh yeah. Well,
No,
there's a time frame.
I was thinking about that time. No, I was thinking about that time in the tent. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I did 2 hours in that tent with these two people. We had 3 people in a 3-man tent, if you know what that is. Like as far as the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who rates these things for 3 people, but it was a 1-person tent, and we had 3 people in it. And after about 2 hours, I'm like, guys, we got to get out of here. And, oh yeah, but there's no buts. I've got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I can't sit here anymore. So.
Hey, at least you was laying down, clacking the sticks. I was sitting with my back turned to the tent wall, with the school bag on my back, with a camera in my face.
I really kept expecting to hear the zipper on that tent start slowly going up.
Yeah.
Behind you. That's what I was really expecting.
That
I
would
was waiting
freak me
for a
out.
hand to come through that window and grab that camera.
Yeah.
Hey, when you go to Falk, I'm gonna tell you this much. When I went out there to go meet Dee, and I was telling my first encounter that I seen one, red face.
Yeah.
Oh, that was when you stepped out of the
You better
tent?
get yourself a tent because they like to walk around your tent, big time.
I'm gonna try to call one in to that. You know, going on expedition and coming back. I'm gonna try to call one in to that park. I
Yeah,
think it would
but
be cool.
you better get you a tent. You better get you a
I,
tent.
I'm gonna get a tent, but you gotta understand how I see tents. It's just something that they could reach up and grab your center poles and drag you off like a fish in a net.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's
Now
it's a giant Ziploc.
yeah. And I tell people, don't grab my bedroll. There's a weapon in there with me. You know, you grab my bedroll and it could be bad. So
That is funny. This is where I jump in the middle of conversations, but it's kind of funny. Mr. Lee 3PO says, I learned early that motorcycles and hair are a chick magnet. And then Stevie responded, does it work? Or do you have to put on a bandana first?
at this point, I'm ready to buy a Harley, shave my head, put a bandana on, gain 30 pounds.
Yeehaw.
Whatever it takes. Shit.
Good advice, Joe. Never fart in a two-man tent.
That one. You got to tell that one that.
I
Squeaker.
didn't do nothing.
She's like, wasn't me.
Hey, they got you on video. They got you on video farting in the thing. Sky got you 3 times.
I wasn't in a tent.
I didn't fart in the tent.
I was on a levee in a broad open area. And, you know, primitive survival, that kind of thing goes out in the broad area, you know.
I didn't fart in the tent.
Paul M. Webb, welcome, dude. Listening from Norway. Right on.
Oh.
Welcome. It's 6 a.m. in Norway right now.
Oh my gosh. It's 11 o'clock here.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. You're international now.
You are.
It's pretty cool. You know, having people from all over the world is amazing. From South Africa to, you know, wherever. I mean, Australia, New Zealand. Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
I like the
I'm
Australian people. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. G'day.
Yeah, I had a friend in Australia. God rest his soul.
That's where the Yowies are at. The Owies. Owie Yowie.
Well, everybody in Australia is on fire patrol. You know, every one of them are firemen just about, you know. And a buddy of mine got just creamed in an accident responding to a fire.
Oh, wow.
And,
Sorry.
They did surgery on him, but, you know, it is what it is.
Mr. Lee 3PO, no, I haven't.
Well, that looks interesting anyway.
Stevie B says, Paul joins in and we're talking about farting in tents. Welcome, Paul.
We was talking about Sasquatch shit earlier.
Welcome to the flatulent conversation.
Well, you know,
you might want to pass.
I was told that Sasquatch spit beans out, that they don't actually eat them.
Yeah, that's what Mark said. And
I'm
Larry.
wondering.
Oh no, it was Debbie said that actually. Debbie Jones.
Yeah. Sisters of the Moon expedition. That's what she was talking about.
But they spit out beans. What do you mean?
Beans.
Yeah, they spit the beans out of chili. Some say that beans don't belong in chili, but Mogs, will you keep the same time in Florida? It's almost 1 here. You know what? I have to be consistent, so I'll be going the same time. You know, if it's I'll just have to stay up later.
Well, earlier would be fine with me. That way I catch a show more.
Yeah, but then it screws things up down the line to the West Coast where it's real early over there, and I'm just trying to be consistent.
Yeah. You okay, Christy?
Yeah, I'm getting anxious. The anxiety's coming in.
I can tell.
Is that from the meds?
That's from the stroke.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to call it a night anyway. I want to thank you both for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Christy,
Hey, no problem.
hang in there. Bounce back. You'll be fine. I hope
I will.
you adjust to the meds and you'll be all right. Patrick,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Can't feel bad.
No problem.
It's so educational listening to you. Like
thank you.
Well, one of my idols growing up was a tracker. Not that I ever, got into it. I mean, I can see a track from a mile away, but couldn't tell you how heavy it was or, the details. But anyway,
I appreciate your confidence and thank you for having me on.
my pleasure.
Yeah,
And
Thank you.
Christy Sy, much love, girl. If you
Much love.
message me if you need.
Okay.
All right. And chat, it has been fun.
Yes, everybody in the chat.
I'll make sure I have soap on the rope.
All right, guys. Patrick, again, thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Christy, thank you.
Good night, Mo. No problem, baby. Have a good night. Peace,
You
love,
too.
and blessings
too.
to everybody.
Thank you. Well, guys, that turned into a good show, you think? Everybody in chat, thanks for showing up tonight. Michael Morris says, if you don't fart, you ain't human. It sounds like a slogan. Nah. It's funny, though. Mark Dodman, you missed the whole damn show, dude. But welcome. Speaking of Australians. Stevie, thank you. T-Rev, thank you. Everybody, Isaac, thank you, guys. Everybody that showed up tonight, you guys are awesome. If you enjoyed the show, share it, hit the like below, leave comments. I love reading the comments. About wraps it up, doesn't it? Geez, it's Thursday. I forgot we didn't do a show on Tuesday. It's Thursday already. I won't see you guys for 4 days, but I'll be in other chats. I'm always around. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. I will see you guys soon. All right. Have an amazing night. Peace and God bless. Good night, everybody.